Hello there. Well, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to make a follow-up video to my How Much Money Did I Earn video, and that's mainly for one reason. When you get a bit of luck on YouTube and your videos start getting views, you have to kind of run with it. That's the way the algorithm works. Just to give you some idea of what I'm talking about, in the last sort of 10 videos that I've uploaded, they've on average got about 1 to 1,500 views each. I uploaded the How Much Money Did I Earn video, which at this moment has got about 9,000 views. The next video I uploaded about eBay scams has already exceeded 2,000 views. It's getting a good number of views per hour. You kind of get a bit of momentum on YouTube when you have a good video. So rather than upload the video I was planning to upload, which I'm not going to tell you what it is, but even I thought it was boring and I filmed it. I'm going to save that for another video in the future and run with this. So what I'm going to do in this video is answer the 4 most asked questions about the How Much Money Did I Earn video. So give you some stats basically that I think are equally as interesting as how much I earned in 2021, if not more so. I'm going to make one more follow-up at least, where basically ask me any questions you've got about my channel, anything you want to ask me, and I will make a follow-up Q&A video. So just leave the questions down below and I will do my best to answer them. So anyway, the 4 questions, the very first we're going to look at is how much money I make from YouTube Premium. And this is quite interesting. So YouTube Premium is a service you can subscribe to, and it basically means you get no adverts when you view videos. We know how annoying people find the adverts, but adverts are the way that creators and YouTube generally make their money. So an alternative to that is you pay a subscription fee and YouTube does dish a bit of that cash out to the creators. So each time you watch a video, if you've got YouTube Premium, the creator gets a little bit of cash to make up for the fact that adverts aren't being shown. A few people asked, how much money do you actually make from YouTube Premium? So using my YouTube channel analytics page, I can have a look at that quite easily. So obviously, YouTube Premium views don't contribute sort of directly to things like affiliate links. We can only look at the proportion of income that actually comes from YouTube and YouTube advertising. And from YouTube in total, £4,285 in 2021. And what proportion of that comes from YouTube Premium views? So I can click See More, but I can click on YouTube Premium views, and it will show me that in 2021 I received nearly 91,000 views from YouTube Premium out of a total of nearly 1.4 million views. So that's obviously significantly less than 10% of the views. So I think I can click Select Secondary Metric, and I can see that in 2021 I made £118.33 from YouTube Premium. Okay, I think I'm going to have to actually do some calculations. That means that the YouTube Premium views are 6.7% of the total views on my channel. What is 6.7% of my total income? That's £287. So if I was getting the same proportion of income from YouTube Premium as from normal people viewing ads on my channel, I should have made £287. So while I do get a little bit of reimbursement from YouTube Premium, it's less than half as profitable as if you just watch ads on the channel. So that's quite interesting for me to know. I ain't going to be promoting YouTube Premium, that's for sure. So the next question I'm commonly asked, and this is one really that comes from people who've got their own YouTube channels, they kind of write to me concerned saying, my YouTube ad revenue has fallen through the floor in the last month. And so essentially they're asking, is YouTube ad revenue seasonal, or are their channels just screwed? And the answer is, yeah, it is seasonal. It's not always highly predictable, but there is one thing I've noticed in the last 2 or 3 years that is highly predictable, and that is every year on January the 1st, my revenue on the channel goes down by, I don't know, 30–40%, and then slowly, as January progresses, my views go up. So there's an inverse correlation, and it just about, but not quite, makes up for the drop in advertising. So what I mean by that is per 1,000 ad views on your channel, you make a certain amount of money, say £5, for instance, per 1,000 views. And that's actually behind the scenes, that's based on things like how many times people click an ad, how many people buy things through an ad. But essentially, it comes out at per 1,000 views, you make this much money. And that varies by country, varies by age group. And yeah, it does seem to drop in January and change throughout the year. And I think it's probably related, as a lot of people have suggested, to the financial years in companies. So companies have advertising budgets and they use them all up for the Christmas period, and then they've got no money to spend on advertising. So you make less money in January. So I'm going to save what I think is the most interesting thing and impressive statistic until last. But the next statistic, and by far the most frequently asked question on that video, is, okay, you earned 7,333 quid, and if you're interested in the breakdown of that, go and check out that previous video if you haven't seen it already. How much does that work out at per hour? And I think there's a kind of subtle implication there that actually if you work it out, you'd be better off getting a job in a supermarket. I used to work in a supermarket, and I think I'd rather do YouTube. I have got actually my old supermarket uniform still, so I can always film videos in that if I want to relive those exciting memories. But anyway, let's have a think. So we know how much money I made in total, so the only remaining thing we need to work out how much I earn per hour is how much time I actually spend on my YouTube videos. And it's a bit of a boring answer, but it varies hugely. So I can film a sort of chatty video where I'm showing the contents of my bungalow that I'm refurbishing at the moment. I can film one of those in something like 20 minutes to half an hour. That's a video that requires no planning at all. My planning usually just consists of me thinking. It's difficult to time how long I spend thinking about a video, but you know, you could probably add an hour or two in for that. There are videos that I do plan where I write down sort of notes of what I'm going to talk about. It's probably about an hour as well. So I'd say on average I spend about an hour planning a normal video. There are videos, Lego compatible build videos and review videos, where I have to build a Lego set, and some of those take me 4, 5, 6 hours to put together, but I'm not going to include that because it's kind of fun. I enjoy doing those things, but on average about an hour. Irrespective of whether I'm talking off the cuff or reading off notes or whatever, generally the videos I record are generally about twice as long as they end up being. So I edit them, I edit out ridiculous mistakes or pauses, or when I'm looking out the window, a neighbour who's looking at me as they're walking past, things like that. I edit them out and I always end up with the video being about half the length. And the average length of videos on my channel actually has increased a lot over the last few years. They're about 10 to 15 minutes long. So I film videos that are about 20 minutes to half an hour long, say half an hour. Then we're on to editing. Now, editing takes about twice as long as the actual video, because if you think about it, when you're editing a video, you've got to watch it through. So if a video is half an hour long, you're going to at least be spending half an hour watching it. And generally, I will do that once and then I will watch it all over again, just to make sure that I've not left in any huge mistakes. Generally about double the time. So we could say that that's an hour editing. I'd then say I spend about half an hour typing in my rubbish YouTube descriptions. If you have got a channel, put more effort in than I do. It's important. Tags, which aren't so important actually these days, which is a little bit of a shame because I feel like it's how I've had success on YouTube actually, really good tags from TubeBuddy. Thumbnail is quite important. I have the graphical ability of a blind bat with no artistic talent. So it takes me a bit of time actually to construct a thumbnail that is eye-catching and doesn't look kind of a bit weird. In total, I probably spend about half an hour doing the tags, description, thumbnail. So I think I said an hour for planning, half an hour for filming, an hour for editing, that's 2.5 hours, and another half an hour for the thumbnail, etc. So that's about 3 hours I reckon I spend. I upload about 52 videos a year, so 52 times 3 is 156. I made 7,333, let's say. That's about £47 per hour, which actually, now I look at it, is pretty good, I think, and significantly higher than you would earn in a supermarket. Now, that said, a little bit of a caveat here. This is £7,333 that my entire YouTube channel makes. The videos that I actually upload in a year don't make anywhere near that. And some of them will make next to nothing. Some of them will go a little bit more viral and make a bit more cash and a bit more commission through affiliate links and things. You can never predict which ones those are going to be. So, I mean, yeah, I could fudge it and make it much, much lower by just looking at the newer videos. But I think makes me much happier to think that I earn £47 an hour making a YouTube video. And actually, when I invoice a company to film a video for them, which is very rare, I charge about 100 quid, so about 2 hours work, which is maybe 50 quid lower than it should be. Being a successful YouTuber, earning tens, hundreds of thousands of quid, it's a very unlikely thing to happen to you, and just because you put the effort and the work in doesn't mean you're going to get there. Whereas I would say building a moderately successful channel and getting some income along the lines of what I've made is eminently doable for most people. I've lost the thread of what I was going to say, but the answer to the question was £47. And the final question I want to answer in this video, I think is the most interesting, and that's how much money have I earned from YouTube in total since I started in about 2015-16. So using my spreadsheet, I can go back and I can select the total from each month since then, from then until December 2021, and I get a total in the bottom left-hand corner. Brace yourself, £43,586, which I think is an astonishing amount of money. Of course, it would be great if I could earn that each year on YouTube, but as I say, it's just not that likely. As a surplus to my main source of income, if you think about it, you know, if you took 44 grand away from everything that I've got, well, I wouldn't have a car, probably wouldn't have this house. A final slight point, and I've always got to find a little kind of moaning thing. Somebody commented on that video that I was overpaying for my accountant. I can tell you I'm not. I am, in the sense that I could fill in the tax return myself. I pay 250 quid, by the way. Somebody told me I shouldn't be paying more than £50 for a tax return. I challenge you, actually, phone every accountant in your city and see how much it costs them to file a tax return on your behalf. And it will not be 50 quid. Now, my tax return's really simple, and I could do it myself, but I don't, because I want it to be filed by a chartered accountant who isn't going to fiddle the numbers to make a little bit of cash for me. They're going to do it fairly and honestly, and that, I think, is extremely important. Anyway, as I said, if you've got any more questions about how much money I make on YouTube, how I make it, about me or about the channel in general, do leave them down below, and I will make one more follow-up video to kind of ride this wave of success and hopefully make a bit more moolah, whatever that is. I'm just trying to sound modern. I'm not sure I don't know if it's working. Anyway, thank you to my loyal patrons who are scrolling down the screen now, especially George Foot, Magnanimous Meg and Jennifer Jones, who are extremely generous patrons. Do subscribe if you enjoy my videos. I hope you like my new backdrop. I'm experimenting, I've just built it, almost killed myself putting it up. Anyway, goodbye.